Hey guys, welcome on. We're gonna attempt to say hi if you're on, and if you're watching on the replay, put replay. Hey Karen, can you hear me well? All right. Hold 1 second. Hey guys, welcome on. We're gonna talk integrity today and action and how it affects. Come on, baby.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound awesome. Do I sound good?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Just got the Walmart special.
There we go.
So awesome. Thanks for coming on, and thank you so much for your grace and time today. I thought, what a better title than to talk about integrity and um, how your integrity, when you're off just a tad, actually affects your actions for the whole day. Does that sound like a good subject for what I?
Yeah, I think that's great. It actually goes really well in line with one of the books that I've been reading lately, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So that's perfect.
Nice. That's totally. I'm trying to get where I'm not in the side, but we can just stare at my hand. So awesome. So this morning, I just want to tell you guys, my audience, how do you pronounce your name too? Because I want to say that correctly.
Alicia.
Alicia. Okay. So Alicia and I have met on Facebook. It was a love connection. I've met some of the coolest people online, and just I start following them and supporting them and loving on their posts and liking what they're doing and communicating back and forth. And I had set up a live with her quite a while ago, probably because I've been moving. So it's been absolute chaos in my mind, but obviously that comes out in my actions. And so this morning, I'm sitting in Walmart. I know I have a call with her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're doing a live. Awesome. So I want to talk about integrity because here's the deal. I'm sitting in Walmart. I don't have earphones in my car. I know that it's going to be a crappy life and it's going to be not of any value if we don't have earphones, correct? Because we've all done the echoing crazy. Um, so I had to ask her for grace. And I've just met her today online right now. So here's the thing with integrity, and I want you to go in this too. Once you start rolling down the hill, but like if you don't stop and get completely grounded with yourself, um, it's going to be a crapshoot day, for lack of better words. So, what do you tell me what your thoughts are on that?
Well, I think integrity actually starts a long time before you even just get into your day, really. It is just like, so what I'm really learning in this book is that being integrity is being at one with your values, with the things that you know in your heart are kind of your priorities, your most important things. And then it's following through with that. It's keeping your word not only to other people, but
Yeah.
especially keeping your word to yourself. And so for me, I think, being integrity kind of starts as soon as your eyes open, your feet hit the floor,
Yeah.
and kind of setting that intention of like, do I want to be somebody who shows up in the way that I said that I would, or in the way that I want to be showing up today? And then you kind of roll with things and how they happen, from there on out.
Exactly. So, what do you do in this situation? I have tons of tools of what I do. One, I'm just not a late person. I like to show up 15 minutes early so that I'm completely grounded. And when I'm at the airport, it's very interesting to people watch and see what people create for themselves at the airport.
Yeah, the kind of chaos, I think, that, oh,
And
we're
you
going to
see
be
them,
late. And yeah.
yeah, like run in. I mean, I've run through the airport, but it's because the connection was like to another country and I was about to miss the connection. Totally out of my control. So what are some of your tips when you feel like you've started your whole day and it's going and it's kind of out of integrity for you?
Well, again, I always, you kind of have to start upstream. So I think in order to really know like whether or not you're actually in or out of integrity with yourself is by really being crystal clear on a vision for yourself. Like who do you want to be showing up as in the world that day? Identifying your core values. So again, are you somebody that cherishes tradition? Are you somebody that cherishes discipline or community and connection? And so really being clear on those things as well are going to help you kind of make those moment by moment decisions throughout the day. Am I kind of on course and on track with this? Am I walking in integrity or not? Right. But if you don't
Yeah.
have kind of that vision, you don't have that map or really that outline, then it's hard to know like, well, am I being somebody who's integrity or not?
So then do you feel like boundaries play a huge role in setting your integrity in your day?
Yes, absolutely.
And how
You have
have
to be
people
willing to fight, I think, for your priorities,
for your
right?
boundaries? Yeah. So like my priorities um are to get quiet time before I
Mm-hmm.
even start. But there's such a pattern of I know my daily method of operation for my businesses is in my head now because I've done it for so long that it's easy for me to roll over, grab my phone, and do half my work in the first hour. But the thing that it creates in me is this like chaotic, ungrounded feeling because I've already allowed 50 people to tell me how my day is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when I take the time to do quiet time, get grounded in who I am, and then look at my phone, it seems to be way more productive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely on board with that. And I don't always do this well. I'm still practicing and learning, but in general, I try not to even get on any sort of social media or checking my email or anything like that before 9 o'clock in the morning. So, that does take discipline, and it does take kind of telling yourself no and really implementing and practicing self control. But I guess at the end of the day, like you have to decide, would you rather be answering to everybody else's requests of you and your time, or do you want to be living your life on purpose and with intentionality?
Yeah. So tell my people, um, what is your greatest gifting in life and what's your skill set that you love? And by the way, we've never really met to my audience. This is kind of when I find a human being that is so grounded in who they are that they can show up with a complete stranger and trust that we're going to have an amazing value to give the world, that like lights my fire. And there's not too many people that will say yes to that. And so first I wanted to say thanks for your time on that and the trust. So that speaks highly on rapport, like how you can create rapport very quickly, even with a complete stranger. With all the stuff you put out there on social media, creates rapport and trust. But tell me your giftings and what you've stepped into um, that you're loving in your
Well,
life.
I want to thank you for that. I think that like it's hard, I think, sometimes when people put you on the spot, like, what are you awesome at? So it's fun sometimes to kind of hear what other people say or what they see in you. So I appreciate that. And I'm so thankful that you trusted me enough to put me in front of your audience without really, knowing one another kind of, face to face or on an ongoing level. I think one of the things that kind of jumps to my mind in terms of maybe being a potential gifting is seeing somebody else's potential, or like, I feel like I see a lot in like pictures or vision, or, you know,
Mm.
and kind of these like little mundane moments. So perfect example, this morning I was walking my daughter to the bus stop, and a couple weeks ago she hurt her knee in a soccer game, and she's really been, it's been sore. She's kind of been babying it. And she's adamant that she needs to go and get an MRI. And I'm like, well, do you think it's getting better? And she's like, no, like it still hurts. And as she was walking away from me, I got to see what she didn't. I got to see that it has been getting better, because she's now almost fully putting her weight on it. You know, she's walking without like hardly any limp at all. And so she didn't see that in that moment. Like she still was just kind of stuck in the pain and stuck in the injury and stuck in that mindset of like
Mm.
just seeing her circumstance.
For
And
sure.
I was able, yeah, seeing her setback, and I was able to, like, as I walked away, and I can't really take credit for this, like I do think that a lot of it is like my faith or whatever, but that revelation of like, but you saw her progress, like you saw the potential that she is actually getting better, she is actually healing. And I think that that is part of my gifting, I think, as in what I do for work, is like being able to see somebody kind of where they're at, but being able to see like where they could be, and how, you know, I can help them kind of create the roadmap or get there, if you will. So I think
Yeah.
that's, um, I think that's probably something that is definitely still going to be getting developed, but I just love looking at somebody and kind of, and being able to speak over them something, you know, a word of affirmation or kindness or encouragement, that maybe they are just so stuck in their circumstance or stuck in the situation that they can't see. But it's like, it's so nice and such a blessing to be able to speak that over somebody else.
Yeah, that's cool. And that comes from your groundedness with who you are, right? Because you can't give what, well, I've heard you're only capable of loving others the amount that you're able to receive love.
Hmm.
Um, and I've seen that in several relationships. So I'm going to go a little deeper since uh, you triggered something. If you feel like those are your giftings, you know, there's always a pendulum swing, right? We can go into unhealthy and healthy on any of our
Mm-hmm.
giftings. So for me, mine's to bring joy and laughter and community. And I can go into extreme sarcasm. So, like, there's a major pendulum swing. So, have you found yourself with those giftings actually on the unhealthy side of enabling superhero, savior complex, stuff like that? And I'm asking that because that's definitely something I've struggled in.
Yeah, I definitely think that well, so it's, I'll answer on the one that you said, and then as soon as you were talking about kind of the pendulum and being in an unhealthy place, I immediately thought of something else that I think kind of can be sort of the opposite and ineffective part of seeing somebody's potential.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think definitely like part of my pride is wanting to be the one that solves somebody's problem.
sure.
And so it's been a very humbling process for me in learning how to be a better coach, to step aside and really let the person kind of come to their own realization, or to really come to their own solution, right? Like,
Yeah,
I might be a few steps ahead in my journey, but you know, what worked for me won't necessarily work for somebody else. And I think that one of the biggest ways that we're kind of not getting it right in the whole, you know, fitness arena or weight loss area, which that's obviously something that I'm super passionate about, is this idea of like looking to other people to tell you what to do, and then you're going to get the results, right?
right.
Like people know what to do to be healthy or to lose weight or to whatever. Like we literally don't need any more information on that. We need
No,
implementation. And so I think that one of the biggest gaps there is that we have all these people kind of stepping in as like the expert, and we're not really giving people the reins, or we're not empowering them to use the tools. And so that's where I think it kind of circles back to having your vision, being super clear on that, being super clear on your priorities and your values, and then the implementation will become a little bit easier because you're actually following a plan that you were a part of creating, like you were co-creating that.
Yeah, they bought in.
Mm-hmm.
Bought in.
But that's taken some humility on my behalf of like, even if I know the answer, to keep my mouth shut and see if I can maybe guide them to what might be a solution for them, but not asserting myself over them in that expert or like wanting to be the savior, right?
Yeah.
And then the other part, the part that I immediately thought of was, just as much as I want to champion for people and I want to see their potential, I also have a tendency to be incredibly critical of people, including myself. And so I probably especially notice it with my daughter for whatever reason. I can be really hard on her, really critical. And so it's been something that, again, it's a process of humility and of learning to bite my tongue. And really, I think kind of going inside and figuring out, why do I feel like I have to correct her so much? Or what, like, what is it that I'm hoping that that's going to produce?
Mm.
Um, and so that's been hard, like I definitely, I'm sure there are ways that I've messed her up through that, but hopefully being aware of it now, we can start to kind of change course and some healing can take place.
Gosh, okay, there's so much that you said that I have comments on. Um, so just with kids in the kid arena, well, one, thanks for being super vulnerable. Anytime someone says the word my pride is a
Hmm.
vulnerable person.
Yeah, I'm super, mm, it's something that's being worked out of me.
Yeah, it's cool. But the thing is everyone does have the answers inside of them.
Hmm.
Um, I was a health coach for 12 years, and I found that not too many people wanted to be held accountable. They actually wanted a scapegoat for
Hmm.
their nutrition. Either it was the products or me, I didn't call enough, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, which is draining as all get out. So the biggest thing is what I found is when someone's totally bought in, is what you're talking about. You're enrolling them in, buying in to the plan, quite literally in every way, right? Because you can't smack the food out of their hand.
Right. And I don't
You
really
can't.
want to. I mean, I
No,
want them to make choices, right? Like
yeah,
weighing the consequences of every action.
yes, yeah, and same thing. It's the pendulum again. It's like you can take it to crazy land and be like absolutely way out over here, probably getting great results, but it's not obtainable for the rest of your life, right? You're
Hmm.
burnout mode eventually. Um, but talking about kids, I think because I have been in personal development for about 15 years. So, um, one, I truly believe all of us will have some kind of coach or counseling or should embrace that because that's growth.
Yeah.
uh, but with my boys, I'm super open about stuff. Even like well, I would say the birds and the bees, except that's not an open sentence for me. It's like if you want to have open communication about sexuality and everything, then you have to be an open person, um, bringing forth information to where they can make choices for themselves.
Hmm.
Um, but, and then I have humor and wit. And so it's fun at my house. Um, but I think no matter what, each human gets to learn from every single human. And that's why I can get on a live with a complete stranger, and know that I have felt her heart and love for people and support of humans. Um, I don't even know if we agree on 90% of things. I don't care. Like, it's so important to me to put people's value out there, because every single person on this earth has value.
Hmm.
And what I've been taught for so long is I'm on this earth to support a group of people. I don't know if that's 10 or 2,000. And I'm not attached to the number. Um, so what you're what you put out there is not um, something that I should compete against. It's something I should bring together with to bring more value to more people, right? Because something you said today could have been something I've said for 10 weeks and no one got it, and then you say it and they're like, "Oh, that's perfect." So that's why I like to do these, and I'm so um enamored when someone is just like, "Yeah, let's do it." So it was just funny. Yeah, I'll have to take a picture of just the going back to the title, like when you're in out of integrity with just one minute thing. You guys, I scheduled this appointment with her weeks ago, and I needed to take better notes. Stop and take good notes on even your appointments. Like, hey, we're doing a live at 10:30. We're not just connecting for 15 minutes. So, because that will help you be in integrity on the actual day. I'll have to take a picture of this. This is how, like, it just kept downward spiraling.
You just got in there.
I didn't have earphones, and this thing is like not childproof. I need a freaking knife to get into this bad boy. And I'm all so it's like, okay, just take a breather, girl. Have some grace, and you get to get back in integrity with a
Mm-hmm.
human that you're taking up time with, and you want to make that valuable for people. But me having like high anxiety energy is not going to bring anything. And yet I can still bring value and say, dude, I like completely ravished this thing, and trying to get the pieces out for my earphones. I could be completely bitter that my boys take my earphones out of my car, out of every place that I hide them. Um, but that's still up to me, right? That's still my integrity to be ready before I'm being in someone's space and taking up their time. So,
And I think too, you know, kind of going like riffing off that for a second, when you think about that, just that statement that you said, you know, you could be upset with your kids and kind of take it out on them in some way. It's like, again, you know, that's another opportunity to check, like, is that really who I want to be when
right.
I'm engaging with my kids? And so, you know, it's every opportunity is a chance to kind of step up and to learn and to also own, you know, what your actions are in this world,
Yeah.
and what you're putting out there. And just recognizing, I think, the gift of choice. You know, it's like you're
Mm-hmm.
not here based on an accident. Um, and I think too often that's kind of how we just stumble through life, as, you know, reacting to everybody, and like
Yes.
life's an accident. But I just think, man, it's such a gift that you could take it by the horns, so to speak, and really um, you essentially are for the most part your only limit in how you put yourself out there, how you show up, and the things that you create in your life. So
That's so good. I love how you put, I just love talking to people that have done work on themselves. It's so on a deeper level, and it's so important, because just focusing on the pride issue of what comes up when you are out of integrity is all pride. Like,
mm-hmm.
it's pride. I learned from another friend that I met on Facebook who's an amazing human. She told me pride is fear.
Mm-hmm.
So the fear of what comes up when you're out of integrity, um, that's huge. That's a huge thing. And the biggest tool ever, for me, which you just brought up, is choices. And I can look at my whole past and I can say, well, wow, that was horrible. And, and just be angry and bitter. Um, I have plenty of facts to be, to have full judgment on certain people, groups, everything. But when it comes down to it, when you're in a space of healing, when you can say, I chose to do this, I chose this, I chose to overlook this, I chose to press through on this, I chose to ignore this.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it comes from a place of choice,
Mm-hmm.
the brain can truly say, and I choose now to not be in toxic.
Yeah.
Now I choose to be in more integrity on a daily basis. Now I
Mm-hmm.
choose to have quiet time in the morning because I know it affects my whole day.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a huge tool for me. How about you? What's the best tool that you've ever learned that has like kind of blown your mind, if you can think of it off the cuff?
Um, Gosh, I don't know what the best one is. I think one that I really use in teaching my students and one that I use for myself a lot, which it does come back to choice, is recognizing like how powerful your thoughts and your beliefs are in shaping your reality.
Mm,
So I think that for most of us, again, we're kind of just stumbling through life on autopilot, sort of reacting to things or feeling like, we're victims of other people's choices and behaviors. And not to say that you aren't in some situations, right? Like you can't
right.
control what somebody else does and how it impacts or affects you, but you get to, again, choose your response to that. And once you recognize that your actions and therefore the results that you have in your life right now stem from your thoughts and your beliefs about said circumstances or really about everything, that's a game changer because we've all just been kind of programmed, I think, through family, through society, through culture, like growing up, like as a baby, your brain is kind of like a phone that is just coming out of the box for the first time. It doesn't have any apps on it. It doesn't have any thoughts or beliefs downloaded into it
Mm,
yet. But every experience is another thought. It's another belief. It's another way that kind of shapes the way that you engage with the world. And so while that's a lot that's maybe potentially working against you, there's also so much hope in that you can then reprogram how you operate, like your
mm.
operating system, if you will, based on the thoughts and the beliefs and, sort of rewriting those programs. You don't have to just kind of live with what's been handed down to you by friends and family and society and things like that and experiences. But you, again, it comes back to you get to choose your operating system. You get to choose when it gets updated and upgraded and things like that. So,
That is awesome. I have never heard that analogy. And it's so like I'm a very ph photographic type person. Like I can picture the whole cell phone and everything. Um, and I can go in and get rid of apps that are not serving me and add apps that are serving me.
mm-hmm.
So that's cool. I love that analogy. That's awesome. Well, cool. I think we've probably talked, I can't tell, but it's been such a blessing to have you on. I hope that we can do this again. And um, thanks for trusting me enough to come on a complete stranger's wall and chat it up, girl. I think you
Yeah,
brought,
thanks so much for having me.
you're welcome. Definitely put your, tell people how they can find you. What's the best way to?
Uh, So if you want to hang out on social, I'm on Facebook. Just search Alicia Carlson with somebody with my face. Or I'm over on Instagram at Alicia Carlson _. If you want to learn a little bit more about me or dig in to some blogs and things like that, aliciacarlson.com is a great place. Or, shoot me a message or something like that if you want to continue the conversation. I'm always welcome to new friends and sparking some thoughtful, insightful conversation. So,
Yeah, cool. And she's tagged in this video, so you guys can just connect right on that little tag and go see her wall. But definitely send her a message if you're asking for friendship so she knows like how you met her.
yeah.
It's helpful. It's always helpful to help us out. Those of us who are on social media a lot for biz. So I hope you have a blessed day, and I look forward to keeping building our friendship.
Thanks. And you too. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.